Good evening. Welcome to the Yorktown Central School District Board of Education meeting for September 7th, 2017. Can I have a motion to go into executive session for the matters pertaining to the employment history of particular individuals?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Can I have a motion to go back into public session?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Welcome to the Yorktown Central School District Board of Education meeting for September 11th, 2017. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence for our armed forces, those in our community who have lost loved ones, especially remembering the mother of Karen Firestone, the mother-in-law of Christine Johnsmeyer, and we will forever remember the lives that were lost on September 11, 2001. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, to the republic. Welcome, and welcome to our first board meeting of the official school year. So we're up to public comment. Anybody wishing to speak on agenda-related items only? Okay, we have the regular full crowd. We can go right to the superintendent's report then, Ron.
Great, and for that, I will just make my way to the podium to share with you a brief opening of our schools. So I'm pleased to report to you that we had a wonderful opening of schools. Our students are adjusted into their new schedules and making new friends, enjoying the new climate of a new classroom, and for some, a new school building. We began this school year August 28th when we welcomed back all of our administrators to our administrative retreat. We had a great morning discussing the goals of the district, where we're headed, some of the very exciting and interesting work that we plan on endeavoring this year. And what you're seeing is the administrative group broken up into an activity of finding their directional partners, which is the way they handle different tasks and their perspective and mindset when it comes to attacking different tasks. So interestingly enough, I noticed that Tom, Lisa, and I in our core group are in different groups, which is wonderful. So when we come to the table to solve problems, we're all looking at it from a different lens, which is just so powerful. On August 29th, we had a new hire orientation. My highest commendation to Ms. O'Shea, who did such an amazing job of putting that day together and ensuring that our new hires have all the information that they need to get started, and we're really excited about beginning their careers here in the school district. So thank you to Ms. O'Shea. Thank you to all who attended that event as well. Our new hires really got a flavor of what Yorktown is, especially by the administrators who came to greet them and all the kind words that our team had to share with our new hires. On August 30th, it was our opening day ceremony. We had such a great crowd of students, a great crowd of our faculty in attendance. We had some community partner groups who attended as well. As you can see in the images on the screen, we had our Yorktown High School band students play. We had our orchestra students as well. And it was just a great, great morning. We featured two students who presented, Gabrielle Woska, who is currently a senior, and we had William Golkowski, who is a incoming or current kindergartner, and he did just such a wonderful job in presenting his thoughts on the start of the school year and how he feels about going into a new school with new teachers and new friends. So it was a wonderful, wonderful day. The most exciting part of our opening week was a presentation by Dr. Michelle Borba. And again, my commendations to Ms. O'Shea, Ms. Horowitz for their work in coordinating this endeavor. Dr. Borba addressed the entire faculty specifically on her book, Unselfie, which talks about building empathy in our children, which underpins all of the work we do here as a district. And I'll share that with you momentarily. But it was a very inspiring day. The feedback that we received from faculty and staff was purely positive. They were just so grateful and appreciative of the opportunity to hear Dr. Borba speak. So what a great, great way to kick off our school year. On September 5th, our K-9 students returned. They had such a great experience. I was there for the arrival of students in all 5 schools, and it was just wonderful to see how energized they were for the new school year. And students were getting off and already seeing other children from other buses, making friends and connections that may not have been made throughout the summer. It was truly inspiring. What I pointed out to Mr. DeGennaro, what I was most impressed by was the number of students who wore Yorktown gear. There were so many Yorktown shirts and jackets and Yorktown hats. I was just so inspired to see the pride that these children take in their school district. We welcomed back all of our K-12 students the following day, September 6th, and again, another great day in our school district. During the opening session to faculty, I put this quote on the board, and I also showed a video by Ms. Rita Pearson, who is a very inspiring educator, and she's a great speaker, a great storyteller, and I challenged our faculty and staff to be the champion of one of our children. Which child will they champion? Who will they be that person to that never gives up on a child, understands the power of connection, and insists they become the best they can possibly be? And surely I also started with our why. Why are we doing this? And why are we embarking on all of this work? And I shared what Tony Wagner, who is out of Harvard University, believes our students need to be successful going forward. And a lot of it is initiative and creativity and flexible thinking and curiosity. And certainly I impressed upon our faculty and staff our mission statement. We impress upon our faculty and staff the core beliefs of the district, and it ultimately comes to the 2020 vision for 2020. And what we're seeking to do is cultivate empathy, nurture creativity and innovation, promote critical thinking and authentic inquiry, and provide opportunities to unleash one's ambitions in our pursuit of developing students who have the capacity to influence change in the world. I'm talking about all 3,400 students in our district. I'm talking about my own children who are in this district and every other children who are in this district. It is the most powerful vision that we can set for this district to set out to create students who can influence change in the world. And it really comes down to this message. You've heard of STEM, you've heard of STEAM, you probably have not heard of E-STEAM. And it's the empathy work that underpins all of the creativity and innovation that we're aspiring to in our instructional program. Visited Disney World with my children, and outside of one of the renovated rides in Hollywood Studios was this quote by Walt Disney. And that quote was stated 65 years ago, and it's as true today as it was then. Now, there's a lot of work in getting a school district up and running, and there are a lot of people who work behind the scenes and who work tirelessly to make sure that we're ready to welcome children back. So thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you, our personnel who we hired. All of this came through our HR department. All of this came through the building principals and the building administration and my team at district office, and it came through the hiring committees of teachers who volunteered their time over the summer to come in to ensure that we hire the very best faculty and staff to work with our children, because that's what our children deserve, the very best faculty and staff to support them. So we hired personnel across the district, we hired personnel across the high school, the middle school, Crampon School, obviously, Brookside and Mohansick. These are for people who have retired. We're replacing retirements. These are people who are going out on leave for either a shorter or a longer period of time, and it's to accommodate the student needs in the district. We had 60 students in addition enroll from this past year. We forecast originally to have lower enrollment numbers, but that was hedged certainly by the 60 new students who joined our district, and we welcome them. Our facilities department was so hard at work this summer. Seeing the work that they put forward was absolutely amazing. day in, day out, and there's a sampling of the projects that they participated in and that they completed. This will also be on our website for the community to see and really just marvel over the phenomenal work. Our facilities are something that we're very proud of as a district. It's something that we keep raising the bar on, and certainly that's led by the work of Mr. Dennis Verbois, Marty Denko, his assistant, and all of the people who work in our operations and maintenance department, our custodians in the building. Tremendous, tremendous. I have a tremendous amount of respect for the work that they've done this summer and always. And I'd like to turn it over to Ms. O'Shea to share some of the summer curriculum work that took place, and there was a lot of it.
Thank you, Dr. Hatter. As the board is aware, every summer our teachers engage in curriculum work, usually focused on our goals moving forward. That process starts in the spring, where we work with our curriculum council and we work with our building principals to identify the work that needs to continue to happen over the summer. This summer, our teachers engaged in approximately 2,000 hours of work outside of their, contracted year. We did lots of work at all of the levels, and we also did some K-12 work as well. So I just wanted to highlight some of the summer curriculum work that was done. You can see on this slide some of the examples that we did at K-5. We worked on the K-5 ELA module work to include the development of STEAM activities. So one of the examples of that was at grade 2. The students will be reading The Little House by Virginia Lee Burton, and one of their activities that they will be doing is, here's the problem in the book. They need to figure out how to move the house from an urban to rural setting over a bridge that they design. So they're going to be working on that in groups. We did some math work, revised the timeline, created math centers, and we did a review of our common assessments. We worked on mindfulness and PBIS, which has been something that we've worked very hard on over the last few years. And with PBIS, we were looking to embed some of the mindfulness strategies of being more present, learning how to self-regulate, and calming techniques, and we are merging those with our existing PBIS plans in our elementary buildings. We did some STEAM unit development and scientific inquiry. For one of the examples is Crampon will have a catapult challenge day coming forward. Some of the teachers worked very closely on strategies for close reading, and they used a book as their book project for the summer to do that. There was work done on next generation science standards, Science 21. The ENL department worked on the development of parent workshops that will take place in the fall to provide information and support to the parents of our ENL students. And as always, we take the time for our general ed and special ed teachers to collaborate and plan together. The 612 work at the secondary level, there was vertical alignment of the New York State art standards that happened for 612. The science department worked on some project-based learning activities. We talked about curriculum development for the enriched grade 6 math class and curriculum development for the new accelerated math grade 7 for 2018-19. We worked on the writing center and how we can continue to have that writing center grow at the high school, and how we can train more students for being writing mentors for our students within the high school. The health curriculum 6 through 12 now has embedded in it a component of STEPS A, which is social skills, social training, and emotional problem solving for adolescents. Basically, our health curriculum now at the middle school and high school will include 4 areas under that, which are mindfulness, distress tolerance, emotional regulation, and interpersonal effectiveness. We worked on some of our AP curriculum to make sure our rigor is where it needs to be, and we worked on our teachers at the middle school and high school level in social studies attended a 3-day workshop at BOCES where they worked on revising our current curriculum to reflect the New York State framework for social studies. What I was particularly found very exciting for me personally this summer was work that we did at as a K-12 district, where we were really looking to make sure that what we are doing is something that continues from grade to grade throughout our district. So we worked on the RTI district plan. As you know, we've had a very strong RTI plan for the academic area. We made some revisions to that to really reflect our most current interventions that we provide, and we are in the process of finishing up including tiered interventions in each of the levels for behavior. Well, what that will do is offer us an opportunity to present to the board in October a RTI plan that offers not only academic interventions but social emotional behavior interventions as well. We talked about the RTI, frontline RTI, which is very similar to the system that we use for managing IEPs in the district. This is an online management system that will be able to track and monitor all of our interventions that we provide at the building level for students. And that document will go with students as they progress through their grades. This summer, we had an administrative cohort and an instructional cohort join the Lyric Computer Science STEAM Academy K-8, and the goal of that is to create a K-8 computer science STEAM curriculum for our district. That will be multiple meetings over this year. This summer, the instructional cohort met 3 times, and the administrative cohort met once. We'll be having meetings throughout the year in-house as well as back at the Lyric with the other districts who are working on the same endeavor. We had a social studies vertical alignment meeting using the K-12 framework. So we had Jeff Howard from the high school, social studies teacher, and Christy Pasquale from the middle school. The 2 of them came and met with a grade level rep at each of our K-5 grade levels, and we talked about what's changed in the social studies curriculum, what are the expectations as students are moving up in the grades, and how can we make sure that at the K-5 level we are preparing students for the challenges that they will face in the middle school and high school. That was a wonderful opportunity to see K-12 teachers working together and problem solving and brainstorming. And then we work on, as always, goal writing and progress monitoring for our students with special needs and their IEP development. So just a quick look at moving forward. Our first and main priority is to make sure that everything that we're currently engaged in and all the work we're going to do moving forward will really support Dr. Hatter's 2020 vision and the implementation of his strategic plan. I think we're in a good place to continue on that journey. We will have data review meetings in each of the buildings to look at student data with the administrators. That will lead to building level data meetings and then district data meetings as well. We will continue to develop our common assessments using eDoctrina, which we spoke about last year. Our curriculum council is going to have its first meeting on October 11th. We did a survey at the end of the year to talk about the design and the process of curriculum council, as well as the focus groups for identifying professional development for our teachers. We will continue to work as a team for the K-8 computer science STEAM plan. We'll have completed the district RTI plan. We will have implemented the frontline RTI online system. We will have developed and implemented school counseling plans at all levels. That includes K-5. And we will plan with Mike Rosen, we will plan for an ABA program to move to the middle school for 2018-19 and to evaluate the use of the 3-to-1 therapy protocol at other buildings outside of the middle school. This is the first year it'll be used in the middle school. Thank you.
I always laugh when asked if the summer is a quiet time of year for us, because as this presentation demonstrates, summer is anything but quiet around here. There's a ton going on, all in support of the children of Yorktown. There's a ton happening out of the business office. There's a lot of work that goes into finalizing year-end reports, ending a school year, opening up a new school year. This doesn't happen accidentally. This happens very thoughtfully. This happens very strategically. At the opening day, I shared with our faculty and staff that we're trying to prepare our students with an instructional program that puts them in a position to solve problems that we don't even know are problems yet. The iPhone just turned 10. 10 years ago, the idea of app development, the idea of cloud storage and cloud computing was novel, if in existence. And now it's the new norm. What will this world look like 10 years from now? However it may look, I don't have a crystal ball, but what I can tell you is that our instructional program will create the type of thinkers that will be needed to solve those problems moving forward. In terms of some upcoming events, we'd love you to engage. We'd love the community to come out and support the work of the district and be involved in the work of the district. There are some great things happening in this district. Outside of New York Presbyterian Hospital down in Manhattan, there's a huge banner that hangs from the overpass. I don't know if you've seen it. It reads, "Amazing things are happening here." we could easily take that banner and place it on any one of our buildings because amazing things are happening here. And in terms of some of the upcoming events that we have on tap, the back-to-school nights begin tomorrow. Brookside Mohansic for K-1. They continue on Wednesday at Yorktown High School. Thursday would be Brookside Mohansic grades 2 and 3. Crampon School and Strang Middle School also have their back-to-school nights. Please check the websites. And there has been information coming home as well in the backpacks. We have some upcoming Board of Education meetings. We'll be featuring a lot of good news because there is a lot of good news in the district to share. Those good news reports will focus on 3 areas, eSTEAM being one, creativity and innovation around the UN Sustainable Goals, and Principal's Choice, where the principals get to feature what they're most proud of in their buildings. And that's certainly going to be a series of exciting programs throughout this course of the year. I hope you join us for each of the meetings. Come learn about our district, learn about the great work happening here, learn about the great work your children are doing in their classrooms each and every day. There are some strategic partner group meetings. I encourage you to attend and get involved. There's the district PTSA where Ms. O'Shea and I had the high honor of meeting with, and actually Rashmi Bose also attended that meeting as well as the board liaison to that group. It's a great group, very supportive of the work that we do here in the schools. There's the schools PTSA groups, the First Nighters, the Foundation for Excellence, Husker Club, all have meetings coming up. I encourage you to be involved. And then we have some other school events. There are several PTA-sponsored Welcome Back socials. There are several exams that are coming up. There's Spirit Week already started. Today was America Monday, and that will continue all the way through Homecoming Weekend, which begins Friday. So exciting things are happening. Our vision is exciting. There's a sense of urgency here because the longer we push this vision out, the worse the vision becomes. In 2030, it's a 2030 vision, and I'd like to maintain the clarity of perspective in 2020. So we have that sense of urgency in the work that we are pushing forward with. And I'd leave you with a quote from Steve Jobs, and I think it's quite true at the present time, and I'm honored to be a part of the organization. It's a great, great time here in Yorktown. It's a great, great time to be in our schools. And we're happy to accept any questions at this time. I'm happy to accept them from the podium, or I can return to my seat,
You
whatever.
can sit down.
All right.
We won't grill you that way. Wonderful presentation. Thank you both, Lisa and Ron. We always know there's a lot of work going on in the district. It doesn't stop. You've learned the bad habit of Ralph. You don't leave. Anthony, you want to start with questions?
Thank you. Hello? Wow, that's loud. Excuse me, sorry. Great presentation. It was wonderful, a lot of smiling faces. So good, good opening. Just a couple of questions. One is just about the Writing Center. How's that going? I haven't heard about that in a year now. Well, since this closes school summer.
So I think we're on year 4
Yeah.
of the Writing Center, and it's been continuously growing, and more students have been accessing the Writing Center. The work that was done this summer by several of the teachers who are overseeing the Writing Center was to provide ideas to their colleagues within the building of certain types of activities where they can send their students to the Writing Center. So it doesn't necessarily have to be an English writing. Science teachers can send to the Writing Center to help work on a science lab and things like that. So we were looking to expand it beyond, an English literature type of a writing
Are we
center.
going to physically expand it also? Like make it bigger, or is just that going to stay that room?
I don't think it needs to be at
doesn't
this
need to be.
time, but it's something that I will make sure that I ask Mr. DeGennaro, but I don't think at this time that it needs to be made a bigger space.
So get one more? Oh, no. So just one more question about, you don't mind, right? Just the IEP, the goals of writing and progression monitoring. I quite didn't understand that, or didn't know what that was.
So this year, Mike Rosen and Caroline Almeida, the assistant director, and Mike, of course, is the director, they met over a 2-day period with the special education teachers in the district, as well as the related service providers who also have role in developing goals for an IEP. What we're really looking to do is just make sure that all of our teachers who have a part in IEP writing understand that a goal needs to be written a certain way so that it can be measurable and very specific throughout the process, so that parents can really have a clear understanding of the progress that their child is making. So it was really looking at how to write the goal and then how to do continuous progress monitoring on that goal to be able to share that information with parents.
Oh, okay, good, thank you. Thank you.
Cheryl?
I'm a big proponent of the STEM program. I loved when they had added the parentheses A, and now we have an E dash. So now we have E-STEAM, and I absolutely love all the additions. Can you give us a little bit of more of a snapshot as to, and you don't have to go school by school, but sort of your entry plan for how this is going to affect each school, if you see it affecting each school?
I'll start, and then Lisa, you're welcome to finish, fill in any gaps. So the first way it'll be evident is in the physical structure of the physical setting. We're modifying some of the rooms in each of the buildings to reflect the instructional outcomes we're seeking. So, for example, at Brookside, we have an e-STEAM lab at this point where there's all types of flexible furniture. There are activities that will, and furniture that are conducive to collaboration, to inquiry, to curiosity, to working through a problem in a setting that allows you to tap into multiple resources. So as we visit the rooms and as we go to the different schools, we'll see those facilities reflecting the learning demands that we're seeking in our students. So Mohansic has a STEAM shop, and that's still under construction. It's coming along, and we're actually holding off on outfitting fully the furniture because we first need to define what thinking tasks we're aspiring to. And once we've defined those, then we can outfit the facility with the appropriate furniture. So there is some furniture, some existing furniture. There's this concept of putting a problem in front of students, having them grapple with the problem. And this is where empathy comes in. In order to be able to solve problems of the world, we need to empathize with those who are experiencing the problems, put ourselves in their shoes to try to understand what their experience and their struggle is so that we can present viable solutions that meet those problems. And so you'll see that first and foremost in some of the facilities and some of the tasks, and then we're working on designing curricula around this, and we're working on embedding some of that work within the structure of the daily lesson so that we're not requiring on a single room to deliver that thinking, that it's broadened and it transcends content areas, it transcends one facility. It's embedded and woven into the fabric of the district. So, do you want to add?
Do you want to just share about crampons?
Yes.
The whiteboard table?
Yes.
So just to add, when we started looking at this at the end of last school year, the summer is the right time to make changes to the physical setting. And even though we weren't where we needed to be in terms of really having the specific curriculum written, we all understood the fact that we needed to have flexible learning labs. And so Dr. Hatter was mentioning Mohansic and Brookside. Crampon also had a major change to their library media center this past summer, where they have knocked down an existing wall, put a half glass wall so that the students can see from the library with the books into the STEAM, e-STEAM area, and the tables that have been purchased have the whiteboard surface so that students can problem solve and take notes and do things together and be very creative in that format. Again, it's a work in progress. The middle school has been, and the high school have been a little bit more forward in some of these activities, and we're just trying to fine tune in both of those buildings as well.
Great, sounds wonderful.
Just a quick question. So the summer curriculum work on AP Physics and the AP Environmental Science, would you be able to share with the community and what your thought is there?
At this point, I can only say that the work was looked at by those teachers who do that work to make sure that we were providing the appropriate amount of rigor to address what's going to be addressed on those exams. I can get more feedback from those individual teachers and report back to you.
Yeah, it was more of a tweaking of the curriculum to make sure the instructional units are in alignment with the thinking demands that we're aspiring to. So with regard to the specifics in sum and substance, I can answer the question, but from a specific, we can certainly.
That's great, thank you.
Just a couple of things. One, I'm loving adding the mindfulness and the reflective thinking back into the health curriculum, because it seems that stressors are so important and so prevalent in our students today, so I'm great for that. I'm thrilled that we're continuing vertical alignment. It really is important. I wanted to ask a little bit more about the ABA program moving up into the middle school. Is there going to be a requirement for physical build-out for them, or is it just programmatic when it comes up here?
So this is the group of students that you may recall we started the ABA program for several years ago down at Brookside that are now Crampon students and will be coming to the middle school next year. There will be some, we are in the process of discussing what's going to be needed to be done for that physical setting. I believe, Tom, we had a conversation, Mike had a conversation with Dennis and Tom about what might that look like. We would need to have a restroom within the classroom, and we would need to have access to some of the functional activities of cooking and laundry and things like that.
Okay, good. My only reason for asking is similar to when we move the life skills through the district. It takes a lot of planning, and if that's something that's on the table, maybe the people involved need to come to a steering meeting so that we can discuss it with the architects and construction managers, because we know it takes a long time, and they always have some really good input into finding the right locations and outfitting it. They did a phenomenal job over in the high school life skills classroom. So that was just my only concern. So as I hear moving a program, I know that it usually involves build out somewhere.
And that's a great idea. I appreciate that thought, because, you know, we're still planning on what will that need, because it really isn't a mirror of the high school life skills program, but there will be needs specific to that population.
Right, but if you have a list of what the needs could potentially be, we can start to look for the location. And I guess we need to be even more forward-thinking, because they come to the middle school very quickly. So what will it look like in the high school? Because that would be the next place we then go.
Yes.
All right. Are there any other groups of students that we have to think about functionally as we move through, or is ABA the only other functional group coming through?
No, I think this is the only group at this, for the next couple of years, that we will be really looking for. We are, as Mike Rosen continually does, he's tracking our incoming pre-K students to plan for what might our kindergarten programs look like a year or two from now.
Terrific. I just want to say, I walked through all of the buildings. Cheryl walks through some of the buildings with me for the beginning of school. And it's not just the pride in the building. You do see the work, you see the excitement. The labs were phenomenal. I know that they were empty, but just the absolute joy on the principals' faces that they could actually provide something different. And you know, and they had these plans, and it's just wonderful to see, and I'm just so glad that we're moving in those directions. So I thank you. Ron and Lisa, I thank you for your long hours. You had to hire how many new staff members? A few. Tom, I know you were planning for not so many students, and somehow you managed to find it all for the staff and the students, so I appreciate all of that, so thank you. And Mike, I know you work long hours because you had to hire a lot of people too. So I just want to thank you all for your hard work over the summer. Opening day was wonderful. It was very nice to see. And your interaction with William was so cute. It was, you just had such joy. It was just, I'm sorry, but I gotta say that you can't be a bad person when you like kids that much. No, but your joy in liking kids, and he was upstaging you 6 ways to Sunday, and you were just so happy, and it was just very joyful. So I just want to thank you. It was a wonderful start to the year, so I just want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right. Now my computer went off, so we can move on as soon as I get back online. Okay. So, we ready? Is there anything else you wanted to add, or are we good?
No, thank you.
All right. We're up to policies. Yes, we did work, right, Cheryl?
Good.
So we are a motion to approve, it's not the first reading, this is the second reading, and the adoption of the following policies. We have the Code of Ethics, Board reorganization meeting, board officers, appointed board officials, board committees, advisory committees to the board, and the school attorney. Anybody have any questions on them? Okay, can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have our personnel agenda. Upon recommendation of the superintendent, the following be appointed to certified personnel. We have appointments, we have part-time appointments and temporary appointments, regular seasonal, substitute appointments, teaching stipends, co-curricular activity amendments from last year, extra duty assignment, unpaid leaves of absence, and for classified personnel, we have some appointments.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Special ed. A motion to approve the following contract for Melissa Shelter-Travar to provide occupational therapy services as mandated by the IAP at a rate of $130 per hour from September 1st, 2017 through June 23rd, 2018, not to exceed 589 hours or $73,840. We have a double dollar sign there.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Special ed placements, a motion to approve the following special ed placements as of September 11, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Gifts, grants, and donations, a motion to accept with gratitude the following gifts, grants, and donations. To the middle school, $1,250 from the middle school Strang PTA for materials and supplies for the Mindful Place for Students.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, we're up to board comments already. I'm going to go start that way. Cheryl?
I really don't have much to say other than, we had a great back to school, just, I guess, talking as a parent and a Board of Ed member. It seemed like it was a smooth start, and all the kids seemed happy, and, from what I see on the grounds look wonderful, and the kids are happy, and, out at the games, and the kids just seem really excited to be back, so it's good to be back.
Rashmi?
Well, congratulations to Ron, Lisa, and Tom on a terrific first week of school. Can't believe they're on the second week now. Tonight, Ron shared a powerful quote about gratitude and expressing gratitude. So on this solemn day, I wanted to express my deepest gratitude to all our first responders, our police officers, our firefighters, our EMTs. As a survivor from the first tower 16 years ago, to me, you guys are the true superheroes that our children see every day, so thank you.
Anthony?
Yes. New year, let's go. Wish everyone luck. And let's have a great year this year.
All right. I got nothing. Ron, Tom, Lisa? No? All right. Anybody in the audience want to speak? All right, as usual. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?